I love this man, and I don't want to get a divorce, but lately, he wants to turn me into some kind of Stepford wife, like a robot. I'm just like,
you cannot set an impossible standard because she will never meet those expectations.
He had 2 babies during our marriage.
You need to stop having children until you learn how to be a responsible adult.
And I hear talking about my wife wasn't nothing before I met her. Don't get me twisted, because I don't need you.
Sometimes the biggest takeaway is the lesson that you learn.
Here is today's case.
This couple has been married 5 years, and she wants a divorce. She's had enough of her husband not keeping a job, cheating, and the disrespect from not only him, but from his family. That's today's case on Divorce Court.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, as you know, we have a virtual audience and it's filled with your superfans. Today's superfan of the day is Kanisha from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Hello, Kanisha. Welcome to Divorce Court. We're so happy to have you with us.
Your Honor, this is a case of smart versus smart.
Thank you, Juan. Ms. Passion Smart?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have brought your husband, Mr. Joshua Smart.
Yes, Your Honor.
To divorce court today. The two of you have been married for 5 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you say the smartest decision you can make is to pursue a divorce.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's why you're here. Okay, I'll hear from you first, ma'am. Tell me what's going on. Give me some background.
Well, Your Honor, we have been together for 10 years, and he just has no family value. He doesn't understand that when it comes to family, there's a concept of being patient and being in love and having understanding and just accepting the fact that we're no longer children anymore. He needs to understand it, or it's just time to be done with it, Your Honor.
Because you've been together for 10 years as a couple, married for 5, but you met in high school. High school sweethearts, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what do you have to say, Mr. Smart? What do you have to say about why you're here today?
Your Honor, I think she crazy. She be tripping. I've done wrong in the past, but as of lately, the things that I've done wrong have been very minute, and she'll take it way overboard.
But she wants a divorce and you don't?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd like to keep our family together and do the right thing for our children and work it out.
It's been 10 years.
Yes,
it's been a long time. You say you have a lot of history, and there's a lot that's happened over the years, and you can't look past the past according to you, ma'am.
Yes,
Why don't you tell me about that?
So he started off cheating in the beginning, and not to mention, I didn't find out until a year later. And so he makes this flabbergasted lie about, I'm not talking to nobody, I'm not doing any of that, and go through his search history in his phone, and it's constantly, nonstop. You can see the girl's name popping up on his search history. And I'm thinking to myself, who is this girl? Like, why do you keep searching her? And so finally he comes out and he tells me, and this is a year later after we're going to school together, where I'm around this girl. I've seen her after activities at school, and it's just embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing. Like, you embarrassed me halfway through high school, and it's kind of like, how are you supposed to get over that? How are you supposed to move on from that when you're not even accepting the fact that that goes towards the values, having values as a man, having morals and standards of owning up to your accountabilities, owning up to things that you have done.
I apologize for that, and she told me that she forgave me.
Okay.
You know, after you forgive somebody, the saying is forgive and forget. You know what I mean? I don't hold anything that she's done to me in the past against her.
Because I never did wrong.
But
I never did nothing wrong.
One thing that if I do something wrong, I will hear about it 5 years later.
Okay, so Mr. Smart, this was when you were in high school.
This
You're
was when
saying
I was and I
this was
still
a
hear
long
about
time
it.
ago.
Yes, ma'am.
You're saying to me, since then,
yes,
you have been on the straight and narrow in this marriage. And when you got
Absolutely.
married, 5 years after high school?
Yes.
Okay, so you have not cheated in your marriage.
No, ma'am.
What has brought you to this point?
His pictures. The pictures going through his phone. He doesn't take nasty pictures, naughty pictures. And for him to have that in his phone, it wasn't meant for me. I know it wasn't meant for me. And so it's like, okay, so you're taking the pictures. It's been going on 10 years now, and you're not wanting to work. I mean, the longest job that he has ever had was, I say 2 months, give or take 2 months.
What's going on with the work, sir? She said it's been 10 years and you haven't been supporting the family.
Keep in mind, for the years, I have a going on 6-year-old daughter, right? So you can count. I've been there since day one. Since day one, I might not work, but I'm there at home with the children 24/7.
Okay, so you've been a stay-at-home dad. That was
Yes,
the
ma'am.
arrangement?
No, Your Honor.
Was that the arrangement, sir?
Well, not really, but that's what it came to be.
Okay.
Because we both got comfortable in the situation, and yeah, that's what my role was. I stayed home, I cooked, I cleaned.
I was pregnant and working. Cleaning airplanes, taking out trash, doing janitorial services while he sat at home playing video games. There's no excuse, no.
So you didn't, it wasn't
stay-at-home
that
dad.
there was an agreement, but
That
you
just-
chose
cannot
not
hold
to
a job.
work, and by default, you became the stay-at-home parent?
Yes, ma'am.
When have you ever worked a steady job? Give me a year.
Well, 2007, no, I can't.
That's a big issue because you're 27 years old and you've never really held a job.
And Your Honor, can I
And
add
you
one
have two
thing?
children.
Also, Your Honor, I do want to add, when he did have a job, his job was, okay, I would make sure he would go to work with his clothes primped, ready, clean, dressed, ready, making sure he had his razors, doing everything needed because he worked at a burger spot. So, of course, you have to be clean cut and shaved. So he tells me one day, oh, well, I have to call you back. I'm about to go on a smoke break. You're going outside. Why can't you be on your phone outside? Okay. So then he comes home and he has receipts in his pocket. You know, when they clock in and they clock out, they give him receipts. And I'm looking at the receipts and I'm like, okay, but you went to work 2 hours or an hour before this clock even says that you punched in. What were you doing? He finally admits to me, oh yeah, I was seeing one of the coworkers up there.
So the only time you stayed at a job was when you were seeing one of your coworkers?
I wasn't seeing my coworker.
What happened?
Sleeping with her.
I wasn't sleeping with my coworker.
So that didn't happen?
That didn't happen.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
How do I know she
We
has
would
kids
just sit
then?
there. We would just sit there.
How do I know that you went back to her apartment?
On our lunch break, we would probably go outside and smoke.
Okay.
But as for sleeping with a coworker, no.
That did not happen?
No, ma'am.
I'll hear from your brother.
She's saying that a marriage is about being patient, but my brother's calling me multiple times over the last few years to tell me that he's been kicked out by PASHION. She's kicked him out of the house. Me and my family both believe that he should be out of this marriage.
So he ended up going to welding school for about a week.
That's good.
Yeah, for about a week. I'm paying for everything. I'm paying for the submission applications, paying for the extra tools that he has to go in and get, all of this stuff, everything, the laptop,
I
all
didn't
of
even
it.
want to go there, though.
He tells me.
So why did you do it?
Because she kept pressing me to do it.
You don't think that's fair?
So, yeah. But at the same
I have
time, you
paperwork,
can't
Your Honor,
push-
submitted.
you
I
can't
mean,
push me to
you do think
something that
that's
I
fair,
really
though,
don't
right?
wanna
You do need to do something?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see the expenses. This is what you paid for?
Yes, ma'am.
$1,600 for the school's tuition, books, $100, laptop, $250. So that's right under $2,000. And you dropped out after a week, sir?
Yeah.
And pawned all of this, Your Honor.
Well, I know why we're here now.
And I didn't want to go to the school.
And Your Honor was ungrateful when it came to the laptop. Told me that it wasn't a upscale laptop to work with.
Perhaps it wasn't upscale, but for you, it was free. Who is your witness?
My witness is my brother.
I'll hear from your brother, Mr. Patrick Blackadder. Hello, sir. How are you?
How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm great. Mr. Blackadder, I understand you know Mr. and Mrs. Smart, and you have some testimony you want to offer to the court today. I'll hear from you now, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. First things first, I think that you should probably back up a little bit before you get struck by lightning. I think PASHION's coming on there and lying a lot. She's saying that a marriage is about being patient and about being in love. But my brother's calling me multiple times over the last few years to tell me that he's been kicked out by PASHION. She's kicked him out of the house, and she's already has a new man in the bed with her. So I think that that's, for one, a lie. For two, saying that my brother has no family values. We were raised as a close-knit family. My brother does. Me and my family both believe that he should be out of this marriage. This marriage is not good. And there was times where I've actually expressed this to my brother, and she overheard it or she found out about it and would cuss out me, cuss out my family, and kind of just make a rift between me and my brother. So there's that, and not to mention the fact that my brother, I believe, so in my opinion, has stayed in this marriage beyond when he should have, mainly due to the fact of the kids. To be there with his kids and to be in the house with his kids because of the fact that, like I said, whenever he gets kicked out of the house, she brings in a new man around the kids. And so I think that he kind of just deals with what he does in order to be there in his kids' lives.
Okay. Let me ask you about the job situation. If they do split up, sir, how is he planning to support his children?
Since they've been separated, actually, he's been holding a job. It's small work, but at the same time, it's enough for him to do kind of honest work. And my brother definitely has a bad track history with working, but this has been a situation that's been going on for years. And to my knowledge, it's been accepted. It's been accepted, and that's kind of their dynamic now in their marriage, or when they were together, was the fact that she would work and he would be at home taking care of the kids, which I think that she's saying is a problem now. But for the most part, it also gave her the freedom and the courtesy to treat him certain ways that a man that was working wouldn't accept or allow.
Are you older or younger?
I'm a year younger.
You're a year younger. Okay, and what do you do for a living?
I own my own digital marketing agency.
I think your brother needs some help. You're a year younger, but you're, I think, light years ahead of him in terms of some decision making and maturity, in terms of his priorities and stability in life in general.
I think that might also be contributed to the fact that I also don't have a passion in my life.
Wow.
So you have also, when there have been breaks, when you've kicked him out, you've invited other people in?
No, Your Honor, not to say invited in, but yes, I've had friends where we would hang out and...
That's not true. She had a whole man living with her for 6 months.
If you'd like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free, 1-877-311-2222, or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Miss the show? Watch full episodes on our streaming platforms and follow us on social media for exclusive content.
And Your Honor, real quick, one more thing. Like I said, I don't really like the fact that she's sitting here making it seem like my brother's just this horrible person that started off cheating. Whenever their whole relationship in the first place began off of her cheating on my friend in high school with my brother.
Okay.
And that kind of
Y'all have not gotten over the stuff that happened in high school. That I know for a fact.
Me personally, I'm over it. I'm over everything.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blackadder. I actually appreciate your testimony today. I really do. You've shed some light and perspective in this case. So you have also, when there have been breaks, when you've kicked him out, you've invited other people in?
No, Your Honor, not to say invited in, but yes, I've had friends where we would hang out and yes.
That's not true. She had a whole man living with her for 6 months.
Is that
around
true?
my children.
He was not living with me.
He was there every day. I count that as living.
Yes, he was there every day.
He was there every day.
Yes.
And that was recent. That was
recent. That was last year.
Last year. Okay.
I don't bring that up though because I don't hold that against her. I've forgiven you. I'm not gonna sit there and keep that over your head. It's done.
But Your Honor, granted, he was not around. He didn't want to be around.
Now, Ms. Smart, you say that he wasn't living there, because he wasn't staying overnight?
Yes.
He was there every day?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
that's where you drew the line?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You said you're ready to move on. What was your final straw? Why have you come to this conclusion?
He doesn't value himself enough to value me. So I feel like after 10 years, if you're not willing to accept yourself as being a man, how are you going to give me all of the love that I need and deserve as I grow into being a woman, being the best mother that I can be?
And where are you in terms of this marriage?
I'm sure we'll be able to reconcile.
Are you separated now?
Yes.
Physically separated?
Okay, so before this
And how long has
separation-
that been?
This has been 3 months, 4 months.
I understand that the two of you are separated and you're trying to figure this out. You need more time to do that. I think one of the biggest concerns for you is going to be the stability and the support that you have to be able to provide for your kids and your family. Because, you've given me various reasons, but it appears that it's just never something that you've really done. And for whatever reason, you've just been really unmotivated. So, you've got to be really passionate about being a tremendous support in terms of, physical support, being there, helping take care of them. I think that's great. But more is required. We have all had jobs, Juan and I included, in our lives that we did not like. But we did what we had to do when we had to do it because we had responsibilities. I worked in a bakery, at a grocery store, had to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was not a morning person, but that's what I had to do. There are so many jobs that we've had throughout our lives. You know why? Because we start there, but we don't stay there. Mm-hmm. But you gotta start somewhere. Because that's what you do when you go through life. You make sacrifices for your family and do what you have to do. So you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere. When you have somebody who's really giving you a head start, buying you a computer, paying your tuition, buying your books, and after a week, it's like you pawned it, that is not responsible in the least. And when you're in a marriage, you're in a partnership, every decision you make, it's like, what is best for the team? And I say the same thing to you. Because I know you feel that, a lot of the things you've done are just decisions you've made because you feel like you haven't been respected. And it started when you were in high school. But you know what, Miss Smart? Again and again in your life, you've made the choice to move forward with this relationship. You have had many times, you have had many red flags, according to you, that you decided they were not red enough for you to walk away from. So you decided, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna try to make this work. We're gonna move forward. You don't ever forget, but if you really move forward, then there is a level of forgiveness that you have to where you have to say, okay, can I really put these things past me? But it sounds like these issues are very much a part of your present. And so I say to you, you cannot have a healthy marriage until you are bringing healthy people into the marriage. You cannot have a healthy marriage until you are ready to make decisions that are best for your marriage. You cannot have a healthy marriage until you are ready for true partnership. You cannot have a healthy marriage and have a weak link on the team because you will only be as strong as your weakest link. So the goal is to be the strongest link. That is what your goal is. Your goal is going into the marriage. You know how you make it last? You decide, I'm gonna be the strongest link, and you make it a contest. How can I outserve her? How can I outserve? How can I be the better person? Because you're a part of a team. And I don't see the partnership between the two of you. I don't see a team standing in front of me. I see hurt, I see despair, I see anger, I see distrust, I see unloyalty. That's what I see. And until you are ready to bring your best self to the team, you work on yourself as an individual. And the best chance this team has as recovering is taking the time to do the work to get to the place where you can be a true partner in this partnership. Love is the floor, it is not the ceiling. That's where you start. Anybody can fall in love. It takes work to stay there. Good luck to both of you.
I'm emotional because there's too many outside players in this team, and I'm not sure if he's willing to work towards us just being a team itself.
When it comes to Just Face advice, I think just work on it. Work on it, do what we need to do separately before we can come back together and be a stronger unit together.
The biggest takeaway is her telling us that, yes, we do need this separation, and I'm happy that I got that confirmation of I should be patient.